Okay, there we go.
How you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. I can't complain. How are you?
I can't complain. I can't complain. All is well.
Yeah, man. I just appreciate you for coming on the show for the first time, man. It's always great to meet new people.
I appreciate the invite for sure.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Um, just want you to introduce yourself to the people and give an occupation, brief description about yourself.
Sure, sure. Well, as you see on my name is Keith Tucker. I'm based out of the DMV area, the Maryland area. I've been here for quite a few years. My dad was Air Force, so his last station was Bowling Air Force Base, and we've been all over the world. But when we went to Bowling Air Force Base, the DMV became our home. Um, I am married with three lovely children. I work for a company called the Joint Strike Fighter. It's an F-35 airplane, the new stealth fighter. And I've been there over 18 years. But part-time, I have a business that teaches people how to save money on travel, how to improve and increase their credit score, how to eliminate debt, as well as how to earn extra income part-time, full-time, or spare time from their cell phone or laptop.
Oh, man, that's dope, man. And how long you been doing that?
I've been doing that now, going on 8 phenomenal years. Enjoy every day, every day.
Yeah, man, because a lot of us, we are financial like literate. So a lot of us are. So you the man for the job, man.
Yes,
You came to the right place because I need
yes.
some knowledge myself, man. But but that's good though, man, because I've been like doing this podcast for 2.5 years. January will be my third year anniversary, and I just enjoy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you,
Congratulations.
man. Thank you, man. And I just enjoy meeting new people, famous people, a little bit of everybody, man, because you guys are the ones that make the platform, man. And because they all know me and stuff like that. They know my story, know where I came from, know the ins and the outs of the game and stuff like that. But it just really getting to know you guys, it just brings
Yes.
so much joy because I soak up you guys' experiences and testimonies, man. And I'm just excited about this.
Yes.
Yeah, so do you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself, just like far as upbringing and stuff like that?
Yes. So I was raised, I have an identical twin. We're 11 minutes apart. I have two sisters. My dad was military, of course. Majority of my life, we were just traveling from place to place. Um, I was a little too young to remember some of the places that he said that we went to, like Germany. I have no remembrance of that. But basically, we lived a great life. We just a majority of our lives was living on the basis that we were part of. But um, great parents, mom and dad. My dad worked for a company called DARPA. They're the one that actually created the internet. Many people think that Bill Gates did, but DARPA is the company that created that. And my dad made sure that my mom didn't have to work, so he worked three jobs at one time. To ensure that she wouldn't have to work. So we lived a phenomenal life. I have no complaints. Went to school in DC, elementary and middle school, and then for high school went to Bowie High School and graduated from there.
Hey, that's good, man. It sounds like your dad was very phenomenal, man,
Oh
because
yes, yes,
and and I can't stress just the importance of that, because they make it seem like black fathers didn't play a part, and especially young black men lives, which it does, and mentors as well. And that's why I try to like mentor like my nieces and little kids around the block, because I don't have
yes,
any children myself, but I try to just give my wisdom, try to share my experiences with younger people around here, because just
yes.
to
Very important.
yeah, just to let them know that there's other ways of getting money. It's other ways of gaining
Yes.
acceptance just by being yourself.
Yes.
So, but yeah, man, I just wanted to let you know, like, about me, because my platform consists of mental health, depression, grief, relationships, business, and just it's more real. Like you could just
Yes.
come to this platform, kick your shoes off, relax, no judgment zone and stuff like that. It's just real, man. And I just feel like I wanted to run a respectable platform and just have, just mainly, people of color like ourselves, man, just to be able to
Yes.
summit and stuff like that. Like, because I just wanted to just help people. I wanted to reach back to the community because
Yes.
I have battled with depression for years. So I just wanted to be able to, help people with that because, that's the silent killer right there.
Yes. I tell you, I have that love and passion to help people as well, and that's one of the reasons I got in business because I was at a point where I was struggling financially years ago. I was far from Paul to pay Peter. I was struggling to make ends meet. I had over $100,000 worth of debt, and I was trying to figure out what can I do to change the situation. You know, someone told me a long time ago, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And I got tired. In fact, not just tired, I got sick and tired of my situation. And I met this gentleman that gave me some powerful strategies, and four amazing things happened to me when I applied these strategies. Number one, that $100,000 of debt, I eliminated all of it in 1 year. And that's unheard of. People say 100,000 in 1 year. I went to work. I started using the strategies that I'll teach, and $100,000 gone in 1 year. Number two, I was able to increase my credit score from a 520 to an 804. So I went from poor credit to excellent credit, and that took 9 months. Number
Woo!
number three, four
I
out
could
of the
help
four things. Yeah,
it.
the four things. So number three of the four, I went to a car dealership just recently, and normally when I buy a car, I finance it. But when I went into this last go around, the gentleman said, you want us to run your credit? I said, no, you really don't need to do that. And he said, why? I was able to pay for a brand new car with 17 miles in cash using these strategies that I teach. And then last and not least, I do this part-time. Like I stated earlier, I have a full-time job, but I do this part-time, and I've been able to cash flow 6 figures without stopping my full-time job. So the strategies we teach are definitely powerful. And I tell people don't procrastinate, because procrastination is the assassination to your destination. So many people want change, but they procrastinate. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow can turn to a week, to a month, to a year, or years plural. And so don't procrastinate. Just go ahead and do it. Just like Nike said, just do it.
Hmm. Yeah, procrastination is an epidemic because
Yes.
everyone make excuses. Everyone like plan on something and then like, well, I can do it tomorrow, or I can do it next week, or I could do it next month, and then that next month turn to a year, or that year turn into 5 years, and that year turn into 10, and that year turn to never. So,
Yes.
and I just learned, bro, because I just had this revelation, man, and because I really wanted to do this because I wasted. I ain't gonna say I wasted because I learned something, but I was in that depressing state for going on 7 years
Wow.
because I went through a lot of death in my family, man, and I went through 11 funerals in 5 years. So
Wow.
I was just like completely out of it and didn't care about anything, and I was just wasting away. And luckily, it was a few things that got me out of it. One, it was my mentor by the name of Brian Pruitt. He's here in Saginaw, Michigan. He teaches young boys, and I've been knowing him since I was 14 years old. And I had went through losing my father and my brother,
Wow.
both my grandparents, cousins, a little bit
Wow.
everybody. So I've just always been like the type to, because I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5", 280. So I'm a very intimidating person if you didn't know me and stuff like that. So I just always kept this fearless look on me, but I smiled a lot. I'm joyful, but I was forcing my smiles and stuff. So, but I was dying inside at the same time. So I had to come out of that and just be vulnerable because every time I became vulnerable, people use that against me. So I would just keep all that bottled up. And one day I just had snapped and stuff. So he had came to me and he called me and he was just like, "Are you okay?" And it got to the point that I couldn't lie to him. I was like, "No, I'm at a verge of breaking down. I'm on the verge of losing my job. I'm on the verge of losing myself, losing my mind." And he would just, ask me, just like, "What's wrong?" So I just had told him, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to trust. And he just had told me, he was like, "You want this to be the last chapter of your life, or you want to add more chapters to it?"
Yes.
So
Yes.
his counsel helped me a lot. And then the birth of my nephew, because I don't have any kids, but my sister has kids, and I'm like the uncle that they know for real, from my mom's side of the family. Because my brother didn't have no children. So it was just my sister that bare children, and I'm very close to them. So when my nephew was born, her son was born, I was like, man, I gotta get my stuff together because somebody gotta make sure that he become a good, productive citizen in society.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, and then my godson was born. So it was really like the night of my godson being born, and I was with my god brother, which is his first son.
Wow.
So he was the first person that really encouraged me to start the show, and he paid for all my equipment. He
Wow.
bought me a few clothes. Well, he got me his own clothes. He make his own clothes. This is his own clothing line.
Nice.
So just to have somebody to push you
Uh-huh. Sorry, my
and just,
thing fell.
oh, it's all good, man. We got a fabulous over here, so we all good. but but I just always explain it to people that when you have somebody that believe in you before you believe in yourself, man, eventually you're gonna be like, what is they see that I don't see yet?
Right.
And I was like that because I was like, man, I ain't no talker like that because I'm very shy, nonchalant. I'm very more observant than anything. So just like the more and more that I did it, and I was just like, okay, I see what he's talking about. I can do this, and I will do this. And I feel like I'm the best. I'm in my arena,
That's
and as black men, bro, like we don't get an opportunity to have that feeling because it's snatched from us at an early age.
yes. Yes. I agree. I agree. And I just feel like we need more mentors out there. There's this generation, they're watching too much TV, too many videos, and it's making it seem like there's a certain kind of lifestyle that someone needs to have to make it in this world. And we need more mentors to kind of let them know there's a better way.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a better way. And I'm a living witness. There's a better way to it. And I thank God for people like you to be able to have that mentorship mentality so that these kids can get on the straight and narrow. Because this world is not getting better. It's definitely not getting better.
No, and it's really, because I'm very optimistic, man. I just think that even during bad times, it's brighter days
Yes.
ahead. Because I didn't think I was gonna ever get back my confidence or just my me. You know what I'm saying? Because once you lose you, it's over. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that even when you in the midst of darkness, you still gotta have some light. Because
Yes.
eventually that little hole where you see light, it eventually go expand.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, man. So I don't know if you would like pay attention to stuff like that, man. So what are your thoughts about like today's relationships, today's marriages and stuff like that? Why do you think they're on a slow decline?
um, I think that people have this expectancy, you know, a lot of times, you know, you look at TV, reality shows, magazines, people expect to have this perfect and everything 100% accurate. But I told a friend of mine the other day, you know, the wedding started on Saturday at 4 o'clock, but the marriage started when you had that first disagreement, where you all still continue to be together, you know. So
Ooh,
it's a different.
man. Hey, that hit, man. Yeah. Cause man, those are disagreements. You really find out someone's true colors, right? When you disagree with
Right?
them.
And I think people don't take enough time to really understand their mate. It's a compromise. That's a huge thing that's not in a lot of relationships. Compromise. It's always about my way or the highway. But you got to be able to compromise. Sometimes you may not like this, but in order to keep the peace, I'm gonna go ahead and compromise on this. But it got to go both ways. It's not always the one person compromising. Both people got to be willing to compromise. And then I think many people don't understand the importance of counseling, you know,
Hmm.
premarital counseling. I can't stress that enough, you know, because that's just as important as counseling during the marriage. But premarital counseling, kind of get to know who you're getting ready to get married. What are their finances looking like? Because money is a big problem and cause a lot of reasons why marriages break up because of money. Then you got to also understand that both people are coming from two different backgrounds. She might have came from a background that's very quiet. You might have come from a background that's very people energetic. So you got to understand that there's going to be a difference. And I think that's not really talked about that much, but it's very, very important that counseling is added to that marriage.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Cause like when I date or when I'm serious about somebody, I let them know that I came from a very dysfunctional family. So, so my idea of family is I have a circle and stuff like that. I have people who ain't blood related to me, but they care about my well-being. They call me, they check up on me. I don't see family as DNA or blood. I look at it
Yes.
as who cares about me and who loves me and who accepts me at my best, at my worst. I don't look at um blood and stuff like that. So when I meet a female and she always sees me by myself, it's for my protection because
Yes.
I got hurt by the people that was closest to me.
Yes.
Like that means
Yes.
a lot to me. Even though I still love them, they never like worked on loving me how I love them. And that's cool and that's fair because everybody can't love you like you love them because it
Yes.
won't be genuine.
Yes. That's so
But
true.
you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot, man, because anger is always the exhibit A to society when they come looking at us, you know, or they come analyzing our particular habitats and environment. They always say we angry. Yes, we angry because we got I feel like we got cheated, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are really lost and stuff like that. Because when you put us in particular circumstances like being impoverished and you know coming from seeing like broken glass on a concrete and stepping over drug paraphernalia and hearing mass sirens, hearing and seeing a whole bunch of destruction, it's like you battling good
Yes.
versus evil every
Yes.
day, and it's very exhausting. Because I know a lot of people adapt, but I never adapted to that because
Yes.
I always wanted.
Saw that a lot too. In me born in being born in Newark, New Jersey, I
Hmm.
saw that on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Drug needles on the ground, glass, fighting, screaming and hollering all night long. It'd be 11 o'clock at night. Someone's fighting outside. People sitting on the stoop, drinking all day. I mean, I've seen it all like you as well.
Man, I had no idea you was from Newark. So
Yep.
did
Yep.
that's what's up, man. Did you see that documentary on Malcolm X on
I did.
Netflix?
I did.
So,
Yes.
man, when I tell you that I had no idea about that, just because that man really went deep. Like he did more detective work than the actual detectives in the police department.
Yes, he
Even though I feel like
did.
they knew, but it wasn't no secret. And just the sad part about it is I just sit back and think about what would have happened if Malcolm was still here, or I know he probably would have been dead by now, but I mean if
Yes.
he would have made it past 40 or 50,
Yes.
60. And it's just sad, man, because I really looked up to Malcolm. I still do. I still watch his documentaries and stuff like that, his speeches and stuff. And I just be very phenomenal just how young that he actually was in retrospect.
Yes. 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 I am encouraged by a lot of those people back there. Uh, Martin Luther King.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I always talk about in my presentations, Madam C.J. Walker.
Hmm.
She's played a major part in business as well. I tell people all the time, during this pandemic, people are like, oh man, there's no way I can be successful. This pandemic's going on. But I like, Madam C.J. Walker became a millionaire during the Spanish flu pandemic. So what makes this pandemic even different that you can't become a millionaire? I like,
Right.
God's not a respecter of person. He did it for her. He can definitely do it for you too.
Oh man, for sure, man. And it was a lot of black millionaires,
Yeah,
man. Even that little
yeah.
girl, I forget her last name, but her name was Sarah, and she was from the Cherokee tribe, and she was the youngest millionaire of that
Wow.
time, up in the 19th century. So I always tell everyone it's about how bad you want it. It's not about what
Yeah,
you
you
can't
want it.
do.
Yes.
Because people gonna
Yeah.
talk, people gonna talk, people gonna underestimate, people gonna laugh and this and that, like, oh, you can't do it and stuff like that. And it just feels good to just prove them wrong. You know what I'm saying? Feels
Yes.
so
I tell people,
good.
you know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you got to speak life into your situation. So you can't be hanging around broke-minded people, because if you hang around them long enough, someone once told me, if you hang around nine broke people, you're gonna mess around and be the 10th. And so you got to be careful who you hang with. Iron sharpens iron. If you hang around the wrong people, you can find yourself not having the success as you desire. So sometimes you got to cut some people off. I'm not saying unfriend people, but sometimes you got to cut them off, because if you don't, that negative talking is just going to consume you. And next thing you know, you're going to find yourself giving up on your dreams and your goals.
Oh man, I believe it. I believe it because I had to cut off people that I knew for years. It wasn't no beef. It just was like I need peace. I need
Yes.
to focus and stuff because they don't really see what I do as work. Because maybe if they saw what I done behind the scenes or what I do behind the scenes, then maybe they were like, "Man, you work a lot," but it's just the fact that I showcase my gift to the point it don't look too hard, but it is so hard. You know, they like only see the game, but they don't see the practice. They don't see the conditioning. They don't see the meditation. They don't see the physical therapy that goes along with an athlete and stuff like that, or it's just anybody. They don't see the preparation. But I just believe in preparation because that's what professionals do. They prepare for that event.
Yes.
And I treat every episode as I'm pretty much about to score like 50, 60 points tonight.
Yes. Yes. I love it. That word preparation is in something that I teach too. I teach 4 seasons of success, and the first season is the season of preparation. People want success, but the question is, if success was to fall in your lap right now, would you truly be ready for it? And so you got to be prepared for it. I said, think about a mom who's getting ready to give birth. She doesn't wait till the baby's born to go out and buy clothes. She starts buying the clothes way in advance.
Hmm.
So you got to prepare. Second season is a season of planting. You got to plant seeds, and you got to plant them consistently. Most people don't plant enough seeds. They give up. I'll talk about my business today, and they'll let 6 days go by, and then I talk about it again, and next thing you know, your business turns to a hobby. You got to plant seeds, and you got to plant them consistently. And here's the thing: every seed you plant is not going to grow. Sometimes you're going to plant on good ground, sometimes you're going to plant on bad ground, but there's no way you can tell. Your job is to plant seeds and don't expect seeds to grow overnight. The only seeds that grew overnight was Jack and the Beanstalk, and we all know that was a fairy tale.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah. The third season is the season of pruning. We talked about that earlier. This is the season where you got to cut some people off. If you ever went to a plant store, you might see the person working behind the desk cutting the leaves off the plant. They're not doing that to kill the plant. They're doing that to help the plant to grow. You got to cut some people off. Not only cut people off, we got to cut excuses off. Like we said earlier, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And one of the biggest nations in the world is procrastination. So many people are living there, and if you live there, they need to move ASAP. And the last season is the season of position. You got to position yourself to be around the right people so that your success can grow. We got to make sure that we're hanging around people that smarter than us, make more money than us. Because if we are hanging around people that is making less than us, we're gonna decrease. We got to hang around people that's gonna push us to not only win on purpose but with purpose.
Yeah, and I agree. And people being so intimidated by people who smarter or people who has more resources. And
Yes.
I never looked at that as competition or jealousy, because when I wanted to get better at this, I will watch like all the people that is hot right now, like the top podcasters right now. And I would just like sit there and I would just kind of just study them, but I would just convey their styles or their patterns or whatever and use it to my advantage and use it in my own way so I can conjure up my own formula and stuff. And it worked.
Yeah,
And
and I encourage you with this. There's nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you copy the right cat.
yeah, and a lot of people copy me here too. So I was flattered, man, because I was still a beginner, and I was like, wow, like that's dope. Because it's just all about just going into that cocoon, and
Yes.
because we would never saw butterflies if that caterpillar didn't do this photosynthesis.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and I just love the fact, meeting people like you because you have really took the life that you wanted.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's in your pictures and stuff like that. Even when you silly, man. And I explain to people that the most funniest people with sense of humor have a lot of pain.
Yes. 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 I've been through a lot, and believe it or not, just this year, I lost my daughter, 21 years. She was my world, my heart, my love, and she ended up passing away in my arms in the hospital this past June. And man, it still hurts to this day. I find myself driving sometimes and just out of nowhere just start crying. Maybe a certain song that come on, or someone say a certain thing. So yeah, definitely I got a lot of hurt in me, but I also realized that God knows best. God knows best, and I just I know that I got to continue to live the life I want, so that one day I can join her. So
Hmm.
uh, it all is well, and that's one of my favorite sayings. All is well. I thank God just for another day.
No doubt, man. And I'm sorry to hear that. And that, pain never leaves. And I
No.
and those memories really get stronger when they're no longer
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Because because I tell everyone who, well, when they ask me this, and I'm at the point now where I can talk about it because it was a time that I couldn't talk about it. But they asked me, so remember where you was at when you found out your brother passed away, and I was at work, and
Wow.
we was well, me and my former friend, we was going to the store, and we was gonna play our numbers. We was gonna get some cigarettes, and we would just, because it was on Halloween, so we were just gonna go to this party afterwards, and I had such a big day planned, right? And that totally disintegrated, man. And I just got to the point where I'd be careful how I leave people, because you
Yes.
never know when it's going to be the last time you speak to
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And I just try to be very cautious about what I say, because the moment you say it, you cannot take it back.
Yes. Yes.
And to be honest with you, bro, me and my brother got into an argument. It was like 3 hours before he died, and we said some horrible things. And me being the little brother, I got tired of being little kid all the time. I was 27 at the time, so I was like, man, I'm a grown man. Like, I ain't finna take this all my life, and I'm finna stand up for myself. He goes, no, that I'm gonna say my piece. I'm gonna stand up to him, because I was afraid of him my whole life, because he was stronger than me. Luckily, we never fought. He had never put his hands on me, because he would have creamed me, man. He would have took me out the game, because he was so strong. But he had never put his hands on me. But we always had like our shouting matches and stuff like that. We did what brothers do.
Yes.
But this time it got really to the point that we both said that we was gonna fight each other. That we acted like we were some ops. It got to that point. But I really felt bad. But I'm stubborn. That's my flaw. I'm very stubborn. But when I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I feel like I'm never wrong, but I'm wrong for how I conduct or how my dialogue is. So now I really be careful with my words, and I really try to be respectful with my words, or even not say anything at all. That's hurtful.
Yes.
But we said that we hated each other, and like I wish you was never my brother and stuff like that, and I felt so bad, but I had that feeling all day, and I try to explain to people that you go have such a strong vibrational, or like a strong like magnetic pull to somebody that you have a bond with, even
Yes.
bore you figure out what it is, but it just keep messing with you, like, man, what is going on and stuff like that. And I got that call because he passed like at 10:30. I didn't get the phone call till 3:30, but I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know who it was. But it's just really hard when you look like the person that's not here, because cause,
Yes.
cause me and him was like twins. Like, if you see my face right now, that's my brother. You looking at my brother right now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this picture after we wrap up. You gonna be like, "Oh my God!" But yeah, because it used to bother me a lot because I didn't take pictures for a long time.
Yes.
Like, even when I would like go in the bathroom, brush my teeth where I need the mirror, I would open up the mirror to my medicine cabinet to avoid looking at my reflection, because I would cry.
Wow.
It was really haunting me. And I think that it was the guilt than anything. The guilt really made it more tormented, you know what I'm saying? And I had to really like forgive myself for that. And I couldn't prevent it. I didn't do anything. Um, to him, it was his time.
Yeah.
But I just look at everything that he taught me, and my pops, my grandparents, everybody that came into my life, like, because their advice and their wisdom
Yes.
makes you who you are.
Yes. Man, I'm sorry to hear about your loss as well. I know, man. I know.
Yeah, and I know too, man. I can feel it, man. like I said, it's just like we like have a bond now. Because
Yes.
I'm just so sick of people just try to make it seem like, oh, you crazy or you just using it as an excuse. I'm like, no, like this really like a stigma. And
Yes.
you would have to experience it in order to understand, because a lot of people don't understand, man. And,
No.
and it's not for them to understand, because
Right.
it's just something that happens to you to change you for the not just for the worse, but for the better. Like, because I sit back and think about how I was, because I was very, um, I would say naive to the world. Even though like I was older, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know the blueprint. I didn't know anything. I was green out here. So it was easy for people to take advantage of me because I had a good heart. Like I let so many people who was homeless into my home.
Uh,
Just
I know
crap.
the feeling, good Steve.
Yeah, if you needed a place to stay, I'd be like, hey man, come over here. You can crash on the couch. I sleep on the bed only, but you can crash on the couch. I got food up in here, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been homeless before. So I had
Yes.
to experience that humiliation of not feeling wanted. And
Yes.
to be at somebody's house knowing that somebody that lived with them didn't want you there, like relatives, man, that hurts.
Yes.
It
Yes.
really hurts. So, but I'm stable now, but it's just like you never forget, but you forgive, but you never forget. And now that I'm older and stuff like that, I just like look at these people like, yeah, I'm a success now. I'm working, I'm my own boss, I'm helping the community, my face all over the place and stuff like that for the right reasons. And that's the
Yes.
thing that I'll be trying to tell these kids, like, don't be in a newspaper for a mugshot. Be in a newspaper for an achievement, for an accomplishment, for a milestone.
A lot of young folks don't understand the importance of their social media as well. I was talking to a group of kids. It was last week. Yeah, it was last week. I was talking to a group of kids and was telling them the importance of your social media is your resume. And many people don't understand that when you post something and you end up getting in trouble down the line, they will find the worst thing on your social media. It could be you smoking, it could be you drinking. They'll put that up to try to get you locked up. And so it's very important to keep your social media clean as well. But we live in unfortunately, we live in a world that people want to. I got to be the first to show this off. I got to play the part, and it's just a lot of. Unfortunately, a lot of the young generation is getting themselves in trouble because their social media is not up to par.
Oh, absolutely. Because they say money is the root of all evil, but clout is now. Because
Yes,
clout is like a disease, man. Because everybody pretended to portray a character when it,
yes,
because it's so easy to be whoever you want on these outlets, but it's hard to be yourself.
yeah,
Because so many people lie to themselves every day. But me, I knew that eventually I had to face the music. I had to look myself in the mirror and ask myself, how did I get to this point and what can I do to change it? Because I'm only 35, but everybody make it seem like, oh, you old and it's too late for you. No, it ain't too late for
not
me,
too
but
late.
never too late. But you, I'm just like, really enjoying this because you're really hitting on some key points. And just like what you said about they would use the worst image of you, just like they did with Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice,
Yes,
and they was the victims. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how a victim vilified when he was unarmed. You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes. They will pull your social media. Even jobs nowadays will based if they hire you or not just from your social media. They'll look at your social media and they see, you know, and everybody have the right to do what they want to do on their off time, but still you got to be careful because when you put that stuff out there, if something were to happen, they're going to go find the worst picture of you and use that to try to demote you.
Hmm. Yeah, because so you can get you know, what I'm saying, shot dead at 35. They gonna look up a picture with you 15
Yes.
and post that up, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's 20 years ago. You know, that ain't fair. But but
You
yeah,
could be
it's
you could be 40 years old, stop smoking weed and everything, but they're gonna find a picture of you, like you said, 15 when you were smoking weed. And now they're thinking, oh, he was a weed head and you had been stopped smoking.
yeah, like we don't get no second chances, or the
No.
boys will be boys. So, but yeah, I learned that as well, man. And like the hardest thing was for me to do because I was a drinker. That's what I used to cope with things, and drinking led me to being around the wrong people, inviting the wrong types of energies around me and in my life and stuff like that. So I have been sober, well, practicing the sober life. Like I have like a probably like a beer or wine cooler, but
Mhm.
I was on that liquor tough, man, a long time ago. And and I was just like, man, what happened to me? You know, what's wrong with me? Because the worst part, like when you drunk and you look at yourself in the mirror, you talking to yourself and you yelling and you start crying. I'm like, man, what's wrong with me, man? I'm just like my dad over here. But yeah, it'd be crazy. But I'm I keep all my liquor bottles because everybody look at my refrigerator. I keep them on top of my refrigerator. So I look at those and just stare at them and be like, I beat you. I
Love
won.
it. Love it. Man, I love it.
Yeah, because we all have our vices, you know, good
Yes,
vices, bad vices.
we all do. Yes.
But instead of drinking a lot, I read. I was fortunate to get a lot of books, and then I go to the library, and I also read articles and stuff because I also do history as well. So I just wanted to teach our people the real history that they tried to
Yes.
blackball in this country.
Yes.
And the stuff that I have uncovered these past few months and couple years, man, it's been just staggering, bro. And I just love it that people older than me come up to me, be like, hey, I learned so much from you, young blood. I'm like, for real? Well, yeah, this is really good, man. It's just the fact that like you have the power to change people's narrative, not just their narrative, but your narrative as well, because you begin to like feel it. Like even when you wake up in the morning, like because I used to wake up, let me see, depending on what time I went to work. Now, if I went to work around like 11:30 or something, I would get up at 10:30, jump in the shower, get ready for work. I'm out the door. But when I get up at when I gotta go to work at 11:30, I get up at 5 in the morning just to watch the news, make my coffee, think about what I'm gonna talk about next. It just really, man, just plan my whole day out. Just
That's the best time
really be
to wake up
disciplined.
too. It's quiet and
Yeah,
peaceful.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I get up 4 o'clock every morning and it's just I got that peace where it gives me a chance to do the same thing, plan my whole day out and just be grateful and thankful for for life and how far I made it because it could have been another way, but you know, I've made it. I've made it. So that's a good time to get up just to kind of clean your mind and just clear your mind.
yeah. And it just was really hard because I had to make some changes, and I just really believed in myself so much, bro, to the point that I dropped out of college because I was able to go back to college through a program for my job, and
Wow.
and I tried. I did for like a few weeks, and I was going to like media and broadcasting. So everybody young. I'm like the oldest one in there, right? And I was talking to my professor because I like to get to know my professors. I like to get to know people like my supervisors and stuff like that who got authority of me and stuff, just to know that I'm a person and stuff. So I was
Yes.
just telling her about this because I was like 6 months in. So I was telling her like, yeah, I have a show. And would you like to see it? And she was like, you have a show? Really? And I was like, yeah, check my YouTube out. So she saw a few of my episodes and she was like, you shocked me. I thought you was lying. I thought you was playing with me. And I was like, no, I'm dead serious. So she was encouraged me to do it full time. She
Wow.
was like, because she was just like, you don't need this class. You so far ahead than a lot of people. And I just want you to just do your show and watch what happens. And I did it. I withdraw from school, and my mentor was so worried when I did that because he was like, "What are you gonna do now?" and stuff. And I was like, "I'm finna do this show. I'm finna go crazy on them dad and stuff. Like you just watch. You don't gotta worry about me." And the year after that, I started to get people that was on 106 in Park, people that's been in Hollywood and
Wow.
stuff like that. Like the biggest guest I had was Tupac Shakur's brother. That's the
Man.
biggest guest I had. Yeah, I gotta send you that. Cool guy,
Yeah.
cool guy.
Man.
But I had some heat. I have a nice resume, man, just because of the fact that I didn't give up on myself, and I just encourage people, man, because people just love to shoot people dreams down, man.
Yes.
And I'm the one like, man, you can do it. It's gonna be tough. It ain't gonna be easy,
Yes.
but you can do it.
Yes. I would say three things. Consistency. You got to be consistent.
Hmm.
You know, many people give up too soon. Be consistent. Number two, be committed. That's something that many people don't be. They say they want something, but they don't be all in. You know, you got to be all in for your dreams and goals. And then collaboration, getting
Hmm.
around other people that can help you take your business or your podcast to the next level. Those three C's are very important in anything: consistency, commitment, and collaboration.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. And so, did you do like group like meetings and like
I
what?
do.
So
I
what
do. I
was
do.
what was the largest group that you had to present yourself to? Like, what was the largest like number of people?
So far, the largest one I had was about 240,
Ooh.
240 people. Yep. Yeah.
Man, oh my gosh, my anxiety would have been on 100, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like this is cool. This is easy. You know what I'm saying? You and I talking. Like
Yeah.
I know people commenting, I know people coming in, but I'm blocking them out. But this is easy. You know, I could do this. What, 240 people?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes. And I try to teach as often as I can because education is important. So financial literacy is something that's not being taught in schools. And so for me to be able to educate someone about a W-4 or educate them about the tax advantages of having a business or credit repair, that's something that people don't realize that poor credit can cause you to buy something one time but pay for it two or three times over. So
Mhm.
just giving them the education about financial literacy. I don't sell, like investments and stuff like that, but I just give them the education so that when they do go to someone who does sell that, they'll be more knowledgeable and not like a deer in headlights.
Yeah. And what you think about like credit not being taught in school or taxes and stuff like that,
Oh,
which
it's
is
terrible.
needed.
Oh, it's needed because when kids are in high school, probably when they're about the last year in school, they're getting inundated with all types of credit card offers. And if they're not educated, they'll think that's free money and they'll start swiping those cards. And then
Hmm.
they get them this way. The minimum payment is $10. So in their mind, like, oh, I can afford $10, but they don't see the long term effect, the
Hmm.
interest. getting accrued over that. So a $100 purchase, they might end up paying $200 because they're paying a minimum payment.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes, that's huge. I say taxes is one of the biggest bills you pay outside of your mortgage and car note.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You get paid on your job. You got federal, FICA, Social Security taxes. Then you go buy a house, you got property tax. And then you go to the store, you got sales tax. So you pay the majority of your income to taxes. Then you got inflation. You know, I call that the silent killer because the cost of living is steady going up, but our paychecks are not going up at the same
Right.
rate. The cost of food, clothes, housing going up, your paycheck going up an inch, inflation going up a foot. You'll never get ahead financially if you don't do anything to outpace inflation. Then you got debt. That's another thing that's hurting people. You know, debt is, I call debt the prison guard because it keeps you chained to a job longer than you want to. Many
Right.
people, if they have the choice, they would rather roll over in bed, but they got to roll out of bed because they got a mortgage to pay, student loans, car note, etc. And so debt is another thing that keeps you chained up.
Yeah, and that was what like Dr. King was mainly talking about in the later years, because they only talk about the I Have a Dream with Dr. King, but Dr. King was really like preaching about that, like
Yeah,
in the later years, especially when he was doing like those protests in Chicago
yes,
and really trying to get people um, fair pay because they was working full-time hours and coming home to part-time pay.
wow.
And it was crazy because I really enjoy just knowing the stuff that they didn't teach about him more than the stuff that they indoctrinated us with. And
Yes,
so I just always like, try to tell people about when they come to me asking me, oh, I want to start a podcast and this and that. What should I do? I'm like, get the business handle first.
yes,
That's the main thing, because you don't want to put all this work in and somebody take your name,
yes,
copyright it, and you will be sick.
yes.
Push it in the air, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I was unfamiliar with those things as well. But luckily, my god brother and his cousin and everybody else who has their own business educated me on that. And us
Yes,
as black people, we need to start helping each other out more. Forget all this
yes,
gatekeeping and all this other stuff, man. Like, if somebody want to get out the hood, help them get out the hood. You know what I'm saying? We better together
yes,
instead of separated.
yes. You ought to have friends that would talk about when they walk into a room about opportunity that they'll mention your name
Mm-hmm.
without you being there. You need friends like that. You know, some of us, I have friends that when they walk into a room of opportunity, it's about them and they can care less about you. They're like, I'm gonna help my own self get up, but we gotta pull each other up. You know, each one teach
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah, because I just can't stress that enough, man, because we need to do better. And because I feel like if Black Wall Street would have been like that, then there would have been no damn Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? It probably would have been like one store on Greenwood Street, but luckily they all came together, kept their money up and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it
Yep.
and it was many of them, and that's the thing that they don't tell us about. That it was like 60 of them around
Yes.
here, and we can get back together, but we have to get that mindset back.
Yes.
And my last question to you, because I don't want to keep you all night with me, man. I know you got, fatherly duties to do. But yeah, what was like during your journey, man? Like, what was the main thing that you learned about yourself?
Um, that I can do all things. You know, I in church they always say you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. But through my journey, I found out that when I put my mind to something, I can do it. I learned that it's not as hard as people think it is, but you got to be committed. I also learned that I needed to make sure that I keep hanging around the right people. The people that surrounded me was very important. And through that journey, I learned that. And then I learned, I'll say this in closing. I learned this too. There are three things that helped me be successful. One, durability. I had to get strong. You know, I heard the word no several times. It's amazing how that two-letter word has encouraged so many people to quit and give up on their dreams and goals. But no means next one, next opportunity, or a person doesn't know enough to make a decision to move forward. Then so we talked about durability. Then I had to learn flexibility. I had to be flexible. I had to make sure flexible with my time, because, you know, we'll make time to go out to parties and hang out with our friends, but we don't make time to put the importance on the most important investment, ourselves. One of the best investments you can ever invest in is yourself. There's no such thing as a bad investment when you are investing in you. And so I had to be flexible. And the third thing was durability, flexibility, and then accountability. I had to make sure I had accountable partners. You know, in the gym, you can lift weights, and I might be able to lift 185 pounds 10 times. But when you have that spotter, that accountability partner, you might be able to get it 15, 20 times. So I had to learn throughout my journey to make sure I have accountability partners to hold me accountable. To say, hey, Keith, you're going the wrong direction. Don't do that, Keith. Stop that, Keith. I needed that. And I thank God for the accountability partners I have around me to make sure that I stay on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, yeah, because I have my accountability team, and they be on me, man. So you're right
You
about
need
that.
that.
Yes,
You need that.
that's very, very, very important. That's how you gonna get far,
Yes.
because it's easy to go astray a
Yes,
lot.
it is. Yes.
Tug of war, man. But yeah, bro, I just wanted to say, man, it was a pleasure of meeting you,
Same
man.
here.
And,
Thank you.
and would you like to come back, like whenever?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And I appreciate for the invite. You know, I never take an opportunity lightly, and I thank God for our paths crossing. And I know that you and I are gonna do some big things together, and definitely would love to have you on one of our shows as well to bring some value as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Just keep me locked.
I sure will. I sure will.
But yeah, bro, man, you have yourself a wonderful night, man.
You
And
too.
peace.
You have a great day on purpose and with purpose.
Okay, bro. Have a good
All
night,
right.
man.
Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you.
You too. Peace.